You know what day it is? It is MedWed number 6, Medication Wednesday number 6. Join me today as I discuss terms number 41 through 48 in this 300 most prescribed medications in the US series.
Tune in as Interpret Your World's co-founder, Juan Prieto, talks about the highlights of his workday as a professional medical video remote interpreter. If you are aspiring to learn something new and gain insights into what the world of medical interpretation is really like, then you've come to the right place. Follow along as Juan talks not only about his success, but the daily challenges he has to overcome to become a better interpreter each and every day. This is Unwind Sessions with Juan Prieto.
So hello again, my awesome Terp family. We are on a hump day today, Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021. I hope everybody is doing great. And good morning, Alejandro. Let's get those interpreting engines revving. Boom, boom, boom. Let's get started because we are about to rock today. Today is our day. Not a single word will be omitted in our interpretations today. Let's get started. Yes, sir. All right. And today I took a total of 30 sessions, 2 of which were audio sessions. And to be honest, I don't even remember those audio sessions. Like, they were so short that it's like I didn't even take any audio sessions. But it's always nice to have them, right? At least they didn't cut me off completely. But damn, somebody shut off the valve on the OPI sessions, and I'm not liking it. All right, but who cares, right? Work is work. I have job, I have pay, everything is good, life is gravy, and it is only about to get better, right? So there are some highlights today, but before we get to the highlights, remember that we are posting the daily vocabulary practice on TikTok, on Kawaii, Instagram, which we post to our Facebook page as well. If you go to Facebook, you're gonna have to find our page, and you'll see all of the Instagram posts there, and YouTube Shorts as well. So go ahead and look at that. Give us a like, give us all of your love so they could be shared all over the world. All right. And remember that we are still accepting comments from MIP21. Once MIP21 reaches 100 likes, we're gonna pick 2 of those comments at random. We're gonna pick the people who those comments belong to, and we're gonna send them exclusive links to MIP22 for them to be able to record their interpretations, send them over to us, and that way we can give them some lovely feedback, right? And one more thing, remember that we have a Patreon page where with as little as just $1 of your support, you help to motivate us to create much more content, and we give you access to everything on that page right now. Medical practice videos ad-free, scripts, answer sheets, vocabulary lists, and much more content. Get on that price. That price is not going to be that low forever, so today is your day. Today is the day to support us. Do it now and get the most bang for your buck. One last thing. I know I said that was the last thing. I was just trying to trick you to have you stay in this video a little bit longer. But the last thing is, are you interested in an OPI or a VRI position? Do you have 2 years of experience in medical interpretation? Do you live in the US, Costa Rica, or Mexico? If you meet all of that criteria, go ahead and send us an email to interpretyourworld@gmail.com so we can give you the details. All right, it's a pretty good company. It's a company that I work for, and it's a third-party company. They are not affiliated with Interpret Your World at all, so it's something completely separate. All right, so now that that is out of the way, let's get to today's highlights, which are what? 1, 2, 3, 3, and then a highlight of my day. It's not interpreting, but I have to let you guys know this, all right? It's very, very, very important. And I'll just leave that right there. It's not causing a problem. All right. So for the first highlight, it was a gentleman that was having, what was the gentleman having a problem with? He was having a problem with his stomach. Yes, he was having a problem with his stomach. He was very bloated and he had problems emptying completely. All right, so I asked the gentleman, because the doctor told me, can you tell him how often he is having a bowel movement? So whenever they say often, my go-to word in Spanish is frecuencia. All right, so I went ahead and I told the gentleman in Spanish, ¿con qué frecuencia está teniendo evacuación intestinal? And then the gentleman looked at me and then he said, ¿qué? And then I knew what was wrong. I didn't tell the doctor anything. I just tried again and I told the gentleman, ¿con qué frecuencia hace usted popó? And the gentleman just looked clueless and he said, ¿qué es frecuencia? What is frequency? So at this point, I'm like, oh man, so I should have gone for just every how often. So I told him, ¿cada cuánto hace popó? Every how often do you poop? And I don't know why I say frequency. I just like it. I like that word. Of course, I like sound, right? But I'm thinking about not using it and instead using how often, cada cuánto. Because this is not the first time it's happened. All right, so I had to lower the register 2 times just to be able to get that gentleman to understand that. And that is not it. In this session, the gentleman, the LEP, he was using a lot the word excrement. Excremento is in Spanish the same. And he would say it a lot, excrement. And then at one point, I probably used the word, I probably interpreted the word for him, excrement, 5 times, and just like that, excrement. And then probably around the 6th time, the doctor turns over to me and he says, excuse me, sir, but that word that you're using, excrement, I don't know what that means. So at that point, I wanted to laugh, honestly. I just wanted to completely burst out in tears laughing, man. Not because the doctor didn't know what excrement was, but because he didn't clarify from the beginning. What kind of a doctor does that, right? He doesn't understand the word and he just goes with it. And then after a while, after they're in too deep, they're deep into the shit this time, for real. Almost literally. And he asked me, so what's excrement? What are we talking about here? You've been using that word almost all of this session. We're almost about to end the session and I have to let you know that I didn't understand that word. So that was hilarious to me. Yeah, and it was all in the same session. I had to lower register for both the LEP and for the doctor. So it was something funny, definitely. I wanted to laugh big time. All right, and another thing, if it happens to doctors, that just makes me think we're all human, right? Like I always say, we're all human. We're all allowed to make mistakes, but we must take responsibility of those mistakes. All right, and for the next highlight, it was a tough session. It was a tough session because I'm pretty sure that the nurse, English was not her primary language, and I'm pretty sure the LEPs, Spanish was not their primary language. So and they had an accent. They all had an accent, thick accents. I don't know where the lady was from. She was black and she had a thick accent. I've had doctors that have a similar accent that come from Africa, so I'm guessing probably 85% of me wants to say she was from Africa. I don't know. And for the LEP party, it was a man and a woman, and I'm pretty sure they were either native tribe here from Mexico, or they were either Central American. But of course, there is no way to know. There's no expertise of me being able to tell what nationality a person is from just from looking at them and judging their accent, right? But just a guess. And so the accents made this session very difficult. And of course, me with English as a second language, so the only thing that I had going for me was Spanish. And odd thing though, the couple, the LEP couple, they never spoke to each other in a dialect, because it usually happens when when Spanish is not their first language. They usually have their own side conversation, but they don't have a side conversation in Spanish. Sometimes they do, but for the most part, they go with their dialect, you know? I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's a second language. Go with the language that you know best, right? And it was very, very difficult because they had problems expressing themselves completely in Spanish. And the nurse, her accent was, for me, it was very, very hard to understand. I had to blame I had to blame technical difficulties with the line, or problems, noise, stuff like that, 3-4 times just to be able to understand her. So it was a tough call. So I couldn't really understand one side's accent, and I really couldn't understand the ideas for the other side. So it was a tough session, man. When they told me that it was the end of the session, I was like, oh, thank you. I just wanted to cry. I was very grateful that that session was over. I think that was like one of the hardest sessions that I've had in a while, for sure. But if you can see, it was nothing technical or anything, just accents and well, just that English was not, well, Spanish was not a first language and English was not a first language, right? So that was the problem with that session. Okay, so that was that. And for the last highlight, this is a personal highlight for me. So this morning, I was eating my breakfast, and last week my aunt was here. She was visiting us from Colorado. So they bought a lot, there was a lot of family here. And they brought a lot of sweet bread and pastries, and there was this really succulent piece of pastry that was there. It was like one of those things. I don't know. I'm not a fan of pastries, as you can see. But that looked very, very good. It was like this little thing, like an empanada. What do you call an empanada in English? I don't know, but just like oh, I forgot. There's a Chinese name for it, dumpling. But I'm not sure if that's empanada. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know, but it was like a dumpling, but you could see like the filling, and it was like some jelly filling, so it looked good. And by the way, I've been eating a piece of pastry, but they're like little pastries, not like the big pastries. No, it was a little pastry, and I've been eating one every morning. It was the other type of bread, but I saw this one this morning and it caught my eye. I couldn't resist it and I had to go for it. It was the big type of bread this time, so I cut it in half and then I took a bite out of it, and for some reason, I don't know why, like the flap, it opened up to reveal the whole fungi kingdom growing on there. And I had already taken a bite. It was in my mouth. And of course I spit it out right away. And I noticed that the part where I bit had no fungus in it. But still, I mean, the thing with mold is the spores are airborne. You know, that's how they travel and communicate and spread everywhere. So pretty much if your bread has mold, everything where the bread was, there's a pretty high chance that everything is contaminated with mold. So I went ahead and I threw the bread away, and then I brushed my teeth, and then I spit out, I did some water gargles and stuff. I spit it out, and then of course I went to go get another piece of bread, and I checked it, and I just passed that down. I was not ending today without having my little pastry, right? So now that I gave you that idea, and I've probably ate like I don't know how many kinds of fungi this morning, how many kinds of mold, there are only 3 possibilities in my mind. I'll be just fine, I'll be gravy, and this event nothing happened because there was no mold that I swallowed. Or maybe my immune system is very good because of all the intermittent fasting, you know. Autophagy, I'm not sure if that is the word, autophagia. Look it up if you don't know what that is. So my immune system is on top, and I'll be just fine tomorrow. Option number 2, or possibility number 2, is that sometime between today and tomorrow I'm gonna be having explosive diarrhea and projectile vomiting, which I do not wish. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I am well. And number 3 is that I am just not going to be able to show up tomorrow. I'll probably be over there partying with Einstein and Stephen Hawking, right? I'll be like, yeah, dudes, tell me all those physics stories that I don't understand. All right. And Carla, if you're watching this, and if I happen to die tomorrow, remember that you have to clear my browsing history and erase all of the 54 gigabytes of data in the folder named Flowers for Algernon. All right. You're the best, sis. I love you. Just in case. Okay. And I am sorry about all of that rant. But I feel like I had to do it. Getting this connection with you guys, right? So let's get started with number 41, MedWed. And number 41 is Atenolol, Spanish Atenolol, and the brand name is Tenormin. So Atenolol belongs to a group of medicines called beta blockers. It is used to treat high blood pressure and irregular heartbeats, also called arrhythmia. It can also be used to prevent chest pain caused by angina. If you have high blood pressure, taking Atenolol helps prevent future heart disease, heart attacks, and strokes. Atenolol is sometimes prescribed to prevent migraines and help with anxiety, but it is not officially approved to treat these conditions. This medicine is only available on prescription. It comes as a tablet or as a liquid that you swallow. It can also be given as an injection, but it is usually done in the hospital. So Atenolol is a medication for arrhythmia and for high blood pressure. I have had to interpret this medicine, but to be honest, I've never received so much of an explanation about what is for, or I just don't remember. But I have had an experience with this medication, but it's mostly like just gets named, not really like the moment they prescribe it, like, oh, we're gonna prescribe this because of this and this. No, I'm taking Atenolol. All right, let me write that down. That's it. So not much to say about that medication. And for the next medication, there's even less that I can say about it. The medication is Venlafaxine, and in Spanish, Venlafaxina, brand name Effexor. Now, Venlafaxine is a type of antidepressant often used to treat depression. It is also sometimes used to treat anxiety and panic attacks. Venlafaxine helps many people recover from depression and has fewer unwanted side effects than older antidepressants. It comes as tablets and capsules, which are available only on prescription. Now, this medication I have never even heard of in my life. I have never Well, yeah, that's all you need to know, right? I've never heard it in my life. If it's been prescribed, I don't remember, or if I've heard it, I don't remember what it is. But it does say that it is a newer antidepressant, so maybe that's why I've never had the opportunity to work with it. And for the next one, yeah, definitely the next one I do know, but I didn't know the name of it. So Ethnil, estradiol, northendrone. All right, and in Spanish it's the same as confusing. Ethnil, estradiol, then there's a comma, noretrindona. Estradiol noretrindona. And the brand name is here, Loestrin. So very, very hard name, very hard name. And if they would have told me this, I would have. Well, the first time that I saw it, I was like, whoa, what is that? But of course, once I read the definition, I was like, oh, I know what that is. So ethinyl estradiol and norethindrone combination is used to prevent pregnancy. It is a birth control pill that contains two types of hormones, ethinyl estradiol and norethindrone, and when taken properly, it prevents pregnancy. It works by stopping a woman's egg from fully developing each month. The egg can no longer accept a sperm and fertilization is prevented. So, of course, I am not sure if I have ever had to do a session for these medications, interpret this, because they usually just say contraceptives or birth control pills, right? I've never heard that name or that brand name in my life, so I am not sure if I have prescribed this medicine, but I probably have, right? I wouldn't be able to tell you how it works. I'm sorry, I said that I did, but I really don't. I was thinking about another one, which it's not today. All right, let's get to number 45. No, 44. 44 is allopurinol, and in Spanish is the same, just one L. Make sure to catch that, allopurinol. And the brand name is Cyclobenzoprine. So allopurinol is used to treat gout, high levels of uric acid in the body caused by certain cancer medications, and kidney stones. Allopurinol is in a class of medications called xanthine oxidase inhibitors. Works by reducing the production of uric acid in the body. High levels of uric acid may cause gout attacks or kidney stones. Allopurinol is used to prevent gout attacks, not to treat them once they occur. Alright, so this is a medication which is used to treat gout. I don't know if any one of you have ever experienced gout. I have never experienced it myself. However, one time I thought I was having gout, but it turns out that it's like the precursor to frostbite. So it's just that I don't really feel cold like the rest of the people, right? So I don't wear gloves or like socks and stuff, and the joints in my fingers and in my toes, they were getting swollen up, and they were because it's very cold here where we live. Like we live right below Texas, towards New Mexico side, and it gets pretty cold here. It gets pretty cold here. So I thought it was gout. They checked me. They did the arthritis test and all of that, rheumatoid markers and all of that. It turns out I was just freezing my hands and feet. It's horrible pain. So I don't know what gout feels like. But anyways, it's a good thing. So now you will see me in the winter with like 3-4 socks on and 3-4 pairs of gloves or mittens, because it's bad. It gets bad, like bad. So anyways, gout. Gout is like some sort of rheumatoid thing, and if there's a lot of uric acid in your body, it'll start to swell up your joints and it'll feel bad. It looks like it feels bad, so I wouldn't know if it feels bad, but I'm pretty sure it does. And this medication will help to prevent it, not cure it. If they have it, they will not be getting this medication. All right, number 45, hydrochlorothiazide and lisinopril. And I left it here because in Spanish it's like that, lisinopril first and hydrochlorothiazide. All right, and the brand name is Flexural. This is a medication which I've had to interpret many times, or just mention in a session. So the combination of lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide is used to treat high blood pressure. Lisinopril is in a class of medications called angiotensin converting enzyme ACE inhibitors. It works by decreasing certain chemicals that tighten the blood vessels so blood flows more smoothly. Hydrochlorothiazide is in a class of medications called diuretics, water pills. It works by causing the kidney to get rid of unneeded water and salt from the body into the urine. High blood pressure is a common condition, and when not treated can cause damage to the brain, heart, blood vessel, kidneys, and other parts of the body. Damage to these organs may cause heart disease, a heart attack, heart failure, stroke, kidney failure, loss of vision, and other problems. In addition to taking medication, making lifestyle changes will also help to control your blood pressure. These changes include eating a diet that is low in fat and salt, maintaining a healthy weight, exercising at least 30 minutes most days, not smoking, and using alcohol in moderation. So yes, I know that probably half of that definition you did not need to hear because it didn't tell you anything about this medication, right? In the first half, you already knew what lisinopril and hydrochlorothiazide is. So lisinopril is a medication that makes it decreases the chemicals in the blood vessels that tighten the blood vessels to make them expand and make blood flow better. And hydrochlorothiazide gets the water that is in your body that is accumulating. What is the medical term for that? Retention, water retention. You take it out because if there's more water inside of you, more pressure, and if it's there, that means it's not traveling all over your body like it's supposed to. So that's bad. And why did I give you that rest of the definition? Because it's something that you're gonna have to learn. As interpreters, you are going to have to give that spiel more than 100 times in 1 year. I bet you, because people go in there and they're like, why do I need to take those medications for high blood pressure? I don't even feel anything. I feel great. I've never felt great in the past. I've never felt better in the past 70 years of my life. And they tell them, well, I mean, it'll have no symptoms, but it'll mess you up. And of course, if you already know that by heart, then those sessions are going to be easy. And it'll be easier to explain why they need to take their blood pressure medications. And damn, I'm still number 46. No, 47. All right, Flexural. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. All right, that was not Flexural. I'm sorry. That was this. Cysteretic. All right, sorry about that, guys. The next one is Flexural. And the next one is called Cyclobenzoprine, and in Spanish is Cyclobenzoprine, and the brand name is Flexural. Alright, and cyclobenzoprine is used with rest, physical therapy, and other measures to relax muscles and relieve pain and discomfort caused by strains, sprains, and other muscle injuries. Cyclobenzoprine is in a class of medications called skeletal muscle relaxants. It works by acting in the brain and nervous system to allow the muscles to relax. So this is a medication that I've had to do sessions about, and they both of the names, the cyclobenzoprine and the brand name Flexural, I have used them both in a session, and yes, this medication was prescribed for people that sprained their ankles or just like stuff like that. And number 47 is clonazepam. In Spanish, it's just the same, clonazepam, and the brand name is Klonopin. And I've had to use Klonopin and clonazepam as well when being in a session with this medication. So clonazepam belongs to a group of medication called Benzodiazepines. It is used to control seizures or fits due to epilepsy, involuntary muscle spasms, panic disorder, and sometimes restless leg syndrome. Clonazepam is available on prescription only. It comes as tablets and as a liquid that you can swallow. Now, I have a lot of experience with this medication. Remember, if one of the, well, not a lot of experience, but I've been exposed to this medication many times. A lot of people have been prescribed this medication for very different reasons. I mean, seizures, epilepsy, muscle spasms, panic disorders, restless leg syndromes. Here in Mexico, they even prescribe it to sleep for patients. All right, so remember that girl that I told you about in one of these videos that she gave me a pill at a party, and I said, okay, give me a pill. Well, she also used to take clonazepam, and all of her, like her little group, they used to do like this clonazepam parties, and they would just get clonazepam and they would just like take clonazepam like it was candy. And at that point I was like, oh, I definitely need new friends. So, but can you imagine, like, and yes, I've tried this medication, yes, I've tried it recreationally, but no, I don't know how people can. And then they combine it with alcohol. It's like, no, don't do that, guys. Don't do that, guys. I'm pretty sure you guys don't do that. Who am I to tell you what to do, right? But if you can stay away from that, stay away from it. I've had very bad stories about that, because that's a medication that is widely available here in Mexico, and people use it for recreational use. I don't know why, but they do. I've actually tried it like 2 or 3 times before saying, no, I'm sorry, this medication is not for me. Of course, and it was not prescribed by a doctor, right? I don't know how people can take it so much. All right, on number 48, Zolpidem, and in Spanish is the same, Zolpidem, and in English is Ambien. All right, and Ambien, I've never had to mention Zolpidem to anyone. Ambien, yes, that is a medication that I've had an experience with in a session. Alright, so Zolpidem is a sleeping pill. It is used to treat insomnia, when you might have trouble getting to sleep and staying asleep. It helps you fall asleep more quickly and makes you less likely to wake up during the night. Zolpidem comes as tablets. It's only available on prescription. And I don't remember what the session was about, but I kind of remember that it was a lady that had been trouble sleeping, and she was trying several medications, and the Ambien was like the last medication that she was about to try. So she had never tried Ambien. She was going to see how she was doing, and she had tried several medications, and if I am not mistaken, I think she was also taking clonazepam, or another pill, a benzodiazepine. I remember it was a benzodiazepine, and they were giving her this medication to sleep. But they told her, so I'm not sure if it was clonazepam. but it was one of those medications that is for many things, right? And they told her to stop taking that medication and try with Ambien to see what would happen. And so I don't know what happened with that medication. But yeah, so all of these, I am not sure if I have ever had two, right? One, two. The rest I've had an experience with and I've had to use in sessions. So keep that in mind, guys. And that is the end of the list today. Remember to please leave your questions in the comments and I will answer some of them on the next session. Remember that if anything is time sensitive, let me know. That way I can get to your video before the rest of the queue. I'll be here every Monday through Friday after work. And remember that we love all of our Patreons. Yes, we love you. We love everyone that has bottles of coffee. We love all of our subscribers. We love all of our viewers. And we love you that is watching the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you have not done so for much more content. And don't forget to share. Happy interpreting. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Unwind Sessions. Make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. And if you learned something new today, it'd be great if you left us a review. You can also visit us on patreon.com/interpretyourworld or visit our website, interpretyourworld.com. Unwind Sessions.
If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, share this video with other beginner interpreters or anyone who can benefit from this information. Thanks for watching!